بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد بقدر ما هو كائن وما سيكون وكان. I was intending to give you a different lecture, but my dear friend and brother, Dr. Omar Kasuli, said that I must talk on the curriculum. What kind of curriculum should psychology have, which can apply to other social sciences? How to put a curriculum for the university students to be able to study psychology, which is reframed according to our Islamic belief and Islam as a worldview. Do you like to translate? Who is going to translate? Yes.
Jadi Prof Malek mulakan ucapannya dengan mengkhabarkan mengenai permintaan ataupun cadangan daripada Dr. Omar Kasuli daripada International Institute of Islamic Thought tentang konsep Islam dan psikologi.
Yes. So, but this is very short.
I just got the point just now.
Now, what happened is that I rethought about how to make a syllabus for Islamic psychology. Some people do not like the term Islamization, but I think I like it. I like it because it has become popular. At times, when you have something which is not properly translated, but it is accepted by the people, it is better than to invent something which is not clear to people. People now talk about Islamization. Now you know, when we talk about psychophysics, we talk about metaphysics. What is metaphysics? Anybody thinks of metaphysics, he thinks about there is a science and then there are metaphysical aspects. It's more philosophical, more not down to earth scientific stuff. Now this term metaphysics is wrong. Metaphysics means under physics. So when Aristotle wrote his material, the person who was arranging his work found a bunch of papers about something which he could not tell what it is. So he put it under physics. Under physics. He kept the paper under the papers of physics. Then he refers to it, the paper under physics, metaphysics. Then it became a term. And nobody today would say metaphysics is not correct, let us change the term. Khalas, it is accepted.
Jadi Prof kata isu Islam dan psikologi. Jadi Prof sebut Prof lebih utamakan istilah Islamisasi walaupun pada asalnya istilah ini mendapat beberapa kritikan dan ketidaksetujuan. Tetapi Prof kata lama kelamaan semua semakin faham istilah Islamisasi dan semua pun bercakap mengenainya. Dan ini Prof umpamakan seperti metafizik. Sebelum ini orang menyangka metafizik merupakan sesuatu falsafah yang kompleks, tetapi sebenarnya metafizik ini adalah sesuatu sebelum metafizik. Dan Prof mengkabarkan mengenai Aristotle yang menulis tentang fizik, tetapi apabila kita temui naskah asalnya itu, metafizik merupakan ilmu yang diletakkan di bawah fizik. Jadi lama kelamaan orang mula untuk menerima dan tiada siapa yang mempersoalkan tentang metafizik.
Thank you. So, with that, we want to know how to Islamize, how to develop a curriculum for Islamization. The curriculum for Islamization is like this table. It has 4 legs. To me, to develop a curriculum for psychology and even for the social sciences, it should stand on 4 pillars. 4 pillars. What are these pillars? I will take the pillars one by one and speak about them.
Jadi soalnya sekarang bagaimana ingin melakukan Islamisasi itu? Jadi Prof katakan umpama meja di hadapan kita ada 4 kaki, maka Islamisasi juga ada 4 rukun, dan Prof akan terangkan mengenai keempat-empatnya.
All students of psychology, are taught that psychology is a science that broke away from philosophy. That in the year 1979 or so, at that date, there is a scientist, physiologist called Wundt in Germany, in Leipzig. He made the first laboratory and worked on psychology as a science. This was, according to them, the beginning of psychology. Psychology got rid of philosophy, and psychology became a science like physics and chemistry. At least it is going to, in its way, to become like physics and chemistry. This is nonsense, this is a lie. Everybody lectures, every student is taught this in American books coming. And we in the Muslims, we just copy. We are like monkeys, we are like parrots. We just read and teach our students what the Americans said. It is not true. Philosophy is still alive. Philosophy is running like blood in the veins of psychology.
Jadi Prof kata perkara pertama yang akan pelajar psikologi belajar di dalam ilmu psikologi adalah psikologi merupakan departure ataupun peninggalan daripada falsafah, sehingga ia menjelma seperti ilmu sains yang lain seperti fizik dan kimia dan yang lainnya, menjadi satu ilmu yang terasing daripada falsafah. Dan Prof datangkan psikologis bernama Wundt yang melakukan eksperimen, dan sejak tahun 1920-an itu psikologi mula dianggap sebagai satu disiplin sains. Tetapi Prof kata ini tidak benar, dan ini adalah perkara yang mengarut, kerana falsafah masih lagi berada di dalam psikologi, dan falsafah adalah umpama darah kepada daging psikologi itu sendiri.
So you cannot speak about psychology, about the human being, about man, without telling what man is. What is man? Is man developed from monkeys and apes? Or is he created by God? Is man good in nature, or is he evil and wicked and selfish? What is man and what are his qualities? What is this? This is not science. This is a philosophical point of view. All the heads of the schools of psychology, Freud with psychoanalysis, Watson with behaviorism. What is that third person? I forget his name all the time. In counseling and humanistic psychology, biological psychology. The heads, the people who made these branches, they did not go into a laboratory and work, added chemicals or so, and then they came us. Now, scientifically, we prove man is evil, only controlled by his unconscious sexual impulses, or man has no nature at all, or man, his nature is governed by the environment. The environment decides what man is. What is this? Is this science? When a person like Freud goes into his special room, sits on an armchair, smokes his pipe and coffee in front of him, he begins to think, man is so and so, man is so and so. And then people come to take this idea. His thought is taken, and the whole school of psychology is built on this thought. Is this thought science? It is not science. Okay.
It's quite long. Okay. So, Prof kata kita tak boleh bahas tentang psikologi tanpa membahaskan tentang apakah itu manusia. Dan bila membahaskan tentang apa itu manusia, ini berhajat kepada falsafah. Jadi secara tidak langsung, falsafah ini tidak boleh diasingkan daripada psikologi. Dan Prof menyebut beberapa nama, antaranya Sigmund Freud dengan idea psychoanalysis, kemudian teori behaviorism ataupun teori perangai manusia, teori counselling, teori biologi. Ini semua merupakan teori yang tidak terbina daripada makmal-makmal sains, tetapi datang daripada orang seperti Sigmund Freud yang Prof gambarkan sebagai duduk di atas kursi, minum kopi dan menghisap cerut, dan daripada situ menimbulkan berbagai teori tanpa perlu masuk ke makmal. Jadi ini yang Prof kata, ini semua bukan daripada sains semata-mata, tetapi wujud juga falsafah di sebaliknya.
So a lot of theories, experimental work, and it is based on this. These thoughts form a school of psychology. Now, when Watson says man has no nature at all, it means everything that we learn, everything that we do, come from experience. We learn it. There is nothing, no instinct in human behavior. From where did he get this? From where, how he made the whole school, his school of behaviorism, is based on this. But from where did he get it? He got it from a philosopher who lived in the 17th century, called John Locke. And John Locke says there is nothing inborn, nothing instinct in man. Everything that man does is based on experience, on learning. living in the environment, interacting, then he learns. All this, there is nothing, don't tell me that man from the very beginning is Allah put in him the fitra of knowing him. Don't tell me about a child who has been, Allah put in him the ability to suck his mother's breast for milk. If you as an adult today, you are asked to suck your food like the way the baby is sucking his milk, you cannot do it. It is painful, the muscles are weak. But Allah created muscles for the baby to be able to take milk. Now all of this, they will say, this is a reflex. It has nothing to do with instinct. He took, this man, John Locke, spoke about what he used to call tabula rasa, a white page. Man is born like a white sheet of paper. And then the environment writes on it. Nothing, everything is there. Now, is this philosophy or is it science? Biologists, okay, translators.
Menyambung tentang teori-teori yang dibangunkan di luar makmal tadi, Prof kata eksperimen datang kemudian, bukannya eksperimen datang dulu baru teori. Teori datang dulu dan eksperimen datang kemudian. Dan misalnya Watson kata manusia tidak ada tabiat, tidak ada perangai, tidak ada sahsiah. Daripada mana Watson dapat teori ini? Kata Prof, Watson mendapat teori behaviorism ini daripada seorang ahli falsafah abad ke-17 bernama John Locke, yang telah mengatakan manusia belajar segalanya daripada pengalaman. Prof datangkan contoh seorang bayi kecil yang menyusu daripada ibunya. Apabila kita tanya daripada mana bayi ini dapat menyusu, dapat tahu tentang menyusu ibunya, Islam akan kata ini datang daripada fitrah. Tetapi teori behaviorism kata ini merupakan tindakan refleks. Bermaksud apabila ada susu, dia akan menyusu. Sedangkan perkara ini tidak masuk akal kerana rahang bayi itu masih kecil dan masih lemah. Tetapi teori behaviorism kata ini hasil daripada pembelajarannya. Jadi segalanya dipelajari dan ini datang daripada konsep tabula rasa ataupun kertas putih ataupun kain putih yang kemudian ini dicorak oleh masyarakat. Okey, Prof.
Good. Now, these are behaviorists. Behaviorism ruled over psychology for 70 years. It became the most powerful, like psychoanalysis. People in the West, psychology in the West, is pushing away Freud because they think he's unscientific. Then they followed behaviorism. Behaviorism believes so. Believe that we are like a dry leaf carried around by the winds of the environment. It is the environment which gives us our nature. So biologists would say, no, man is an animal, biologically like an animal. His genes, heredity, his hormones, his nervous system, all of these play the major role in shaping what man is. So, for every thought in your brain, they will say there is a twisted molecule in your brain. Now, how can we judge now? It means man is run with his biology, or man is run with his environment, or man is run with his unconscious sexual impulses, as Freud said. What is man? So we come to an important issue, that how these schools of psychology, their main aim, their main philosophy is secularization. Okay.
Jadi sambung kepada teori behaviorism tadi, teori ini semakin mendapat sokongan sehingga akhirnya ia menggantikan psikoanalisis yang dianggap sebagai tidak lagi saintifik pada waktu itu. Dan Prof datangkan teori behaviorism ini umpama daun kering yang ditiup angin, yang dicorakkan mengikut deras angin. Jika angin tolak dia ke sini, dia ke sini. Maka ini teori tentang persekitaran yang mempengaruhi manusia. Tapi Prof kata ahli biologis tidak akan bersetuju dengan ini, kerana ahli biologis mengatakan manusia punya perangai ditentukan oleh genetiknya, oleh hormonnya, oleh segala faktor biologi. Itu yang menentukan apa yang bermain di fikiran manusia. Jadi teori yang sebelum ini, yang awal-awal Prof sebut tentang Sigmund Freud, tentang psikoanalisis, kita ada 3 teori. Satu mengatakan manusia dipengaruhi oleh persekitaran, yang kedua mengatakan manusia dipengaruhi oleh biologi, yang ketiga mengatakan manusia dipengaruhi oleh sexual drive ataupun dorongan nafsu seksual. Kemanakah matlamat akhir tiga-tiga ideologi teori ini? Kesemuanya adalah berdasarkan sekularisme.
So all of these schools of psychology, they fight and they write against each other, but they do not fight concerning throwing away religion. They are all for secularization. Here we must look at history. The Catholic Church used to burn women. There is a great philosopher, English great philosopher, is known as Bertrand Russell. Russell says that the Catholic Church burned millions of women, considering them having a sexual affair with Iblis. And they tortured the women until they confess. They confess because of the pain they inflicted on them, and then they are burned. Scientists were fought. You know the story of Galileo and how the church punished him. The church did a lot of atrocities. Then historically came Renaissance, came Enlightenment. They said, we don't want religion. If this is religion, we don't want religion. We don't want religion became obvious in all the schools of psychology of the West. It is only now some of them, of the wiser people, are beginning to really look into what Darwin said. You see, they are so happy with Darwin, not because the theory of Darwin is true. It is not true. And up to now, they cannot prove there is any creature that is found between two different species. No, they know no evidence. But they cling to it. They want it. Why? Because it makes fun of religion, of Christianity. And then, when they say religion is wrong, they talk about Christianity. It is their own business, but they talk about religion in general. If you are a Muslim, if you are a Buddhist, if you are Then you come, oh, religion, this is nonsense. You see, no spirituality. Man has no spiritual dimension. Okay.
Jadi ketiga-tiga teori tadi intipati utamanya adalah sekularisasi atau pensekularan, dan Prof datangkan ahli falsafah barat Bertrand Russell yang telah mengkritik agama dengan mendatangkan kisah tentang gereja membakar wanita misalnya kerana dituduh dengan perzinaan. Begitu juga dengan kisah Galilei yang dibakar kerana mendatangkan teori sains yang bercanggah dengan ajaran Injil. Jadi hasil daripada itu, masyarakat Eropah mula membenci kepada agama dan terlahirlah sekularisme, di mana sekularisme ini masuk ke dalam ranah psikologi, seterusnya mempengaruhi ahli psikologi untuk mengetepikan pengaruh ketuhanan dan agama. Kemudian datang teori Darwin dan mereka menyokongnya, bukan kerana teori Darwin itu benar, kerana Prof kata kita tidak jumpa the missing link ataupun misalnya kata haiwan antara monyet dan juga manusia, kita tidak jumpa the missing link, tetapi mereka menyokongnya kerana ia mempermainkan agama Kristian, kerana ia merendah-rendahkan ajaran agama yang mengatakan manusia dicipta daripada manusia merupakan keturunan Nabi Adam. Jadi dan mereka menggunakan bahasa umum, mereka tidak sebut Kristian tapi mereka sebut agama dan merangkumi semua agama, tapi sebenarnya mereka mengkritik Kristian. Okay, Prof.
Yes. So here we are. We are faced with a science or a discipline which is standing against the spiritual aspect in man. وَنَفَخَ فِيهِ مِنْ رُوحٍ. We know that man is made from mud and also from the physical aspect, but also Allah blew His spirit in us. Each one of us goes through the same creation of Adam. Adam was formed, خلقناه ثم نفخ فيه من روح. It steps. This happens in the wombs of our mothers. At a certain age, an angel will come, will decide about this baby, this fetus inside his mother's womb, what he is going to be. He is going to blow a spirit into him by which to know what is right, what is wrong. We inherit al-khayr wa shar. We inherit good and evil. It is embedded in us, in our system. You know that this is not proper and this is proper. There are certain modes of akhlaq, of behavior, of moral behavior, which is similar almost all over the world. This cannot come only from apes. We are not animals. We are not children of apes. We are a selected creation. So here we have a great conflict between secular psychology and between us as Muslims studying psychology. We need to differentiate between the scientific aspect in psychology and the unscientific aspects. This is very important. So here, if you tell me in learning, if two things are associated with each other again and again and again, then you will learn to associate B with A, though in the past you had only association with C. You bring the dog, it's hungry dog. You ring a bell and you give the dog a little bit of food. Then ring the bell again and give him a little food. Then after a while, you ring repetition, you ring the bell, the dog salivates. This is normal, this is science. When psychology teaches us about conditioning, it's called conditioning, we know this is science. But when they tell us that the baby sucking the breast of his mother is actually getting some sexual pleasure, we say this is nonsense. Nobody has confirmed this. We cannot ask the baby, Sonny, when you are sucking your mother's breast, do you feel so? We can't. There is no way to prove it. When something cannot be proved wrong, it is not science. Okay.
Okay, jadi secara umumnya Prof kata sains pada hari ini tidak ada lagi unsur spiritual, sedangkan di dalam Islam kita diajarkan wa nafakhtum fihi min ruhi, ditiupkan roh kepada jasad sewaktu di dalam rahim ibunya. Dan sewaktu di dalam rahim ibu, bayi itu telah ditetapkan takdirnya dan juga diberikan pengetahuan baik dan buruk. Dan pengetahuan baik dan buruk ini ada pada dalam diri setiap manusia hampir secara universal, secara sejagat, di mana sahaja mereka tahu yang ini baik dan ini buruk. Jadi ini menunjukkan kita bukan keturunan beruk yang tidak mengetahui baik dan buruk. Kita merupakan makhluk yang terpilih, dan inilah dia konflik di dalam psikologi apabila perkara yang saintifik dan tidak saintifik itu disekalikan. Sedangkan perkara kedua-duanya mesti dibezakan. Jadi perlu dibezakan antara yang saintifik dan tidak saintifik. Kerana apabila ia sentiasa disekalikan, A disekalikan dengan B, B disekalikan dengan C, maka kita menganggap A, B dan C itu semuanya bersekali, sedangkan A, B dan C berbeza. Dan Prof mendatangkan eksperimen anjing, ini satu eksperimen yang popular. Apabila kita bunyikan loceng dan anjing datang, kita bagi dia makan. Kali kedua kita bunyikan loceng, anjing datang, kita bagi dia makan. Kali ketiga kita bunyikan loceng, tak letak makanan, anjing akan keluarkan air liur, sebab dia telah diasosiasikan ataupun dia telah dikaitkan bila bunyi loceng ada makanan. Jadi itu juga yang berlaku dalam psikologi. Apabila perkara yang tidak saintifik tidak diasingkan daripada saintifik, kita terkeliru menganggap benda yang tidak saintifik sebagai saintifik. Antara contohnya seperti bayi yang menyusu daripada ibunya, Freud mengatakan ini merupakan hasil daripada nafsu bayi itu terhadap ibunya. Ini tidak saintifik dan ini tidak benar. Tetapi perkara yang saintifik seperti anjing tadi, itu kita perlu terima dan mungkin kita boleh lakukan eksperimen. Dan apa yang tidak boleh dieksperimenkan, itu tidak saintifik.
But I did not hear you saying the word anjing.
Anjing? I did.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay.
They can confirm.
Now, I would like we can summarize. We Islamize in order to show the secular aspect of psychology. Just as if for example now I go and teach English students in England, and then I tell them, man is created by God, therefore he has fitra, he has so on. They will laugh at me. So why should I today come and teach my students material which is written in their textbooks that does not mention this, and consider man as coming, if I say man is actually, by evolution he came from apes, everybody would keep quiet or smile, accept. So why should we become beggars for their ideas? When the Soviet Union was still strong, They refuse to accept Western psychology. They used to have their own Soviet psychology based on their philosophy. They respect themselves. When the British and the French psychologists found that their students study only American books of psychology, and that this has influenced them, they become Americanized, they spoke, we don't want to accept American psychology as such, all the theories based on American students, experimental work on American, we don't accept it, we are not the same. Though they are only on different sides of the Atlantic. What about us who are Muslims? We are away from America. Go ahead.
Jika pada hari ini kita mengatakan manusia itu diciptakan oleh Tuhan, maka orang akan ketawakan kita sekiranya kita mengajarkan yang itu di dalam kelas psikologi, kerana begitu kuatnya pengaruh sekularisme. Tetapi adakah kita perlu untuk mengajar psikologi yang bersifat sekular pada masa yang sama? Dan Prof mendatangkan contoh Soviet Union di zaman keemasan mereka menolak psikologi daripada Barat. Tidak diajarkan di negara Soviet. Begitu juga dengan British yang menyedari apabila pelajarnya yang belajar psikologi menjadi seperti orang Amerika, British juga menghalang pelajar mereka daripada belajar psikologi Barat. Bagaimana pula kita sebagai seorang Muslim yang jauh daripada Amerika dan jauh daripada Soviet, adakah kita perlu untuk mengambil psikologi Barat?
Now, this is the fairest leg of the table. The fairest leg of the table, we Islamize. Anybody who wants to put a curriculum must put this in front of him. How to put the curriculum in such a manner as to expose the secular approach of psychology of the West and how this is not suitable for us. How we can make our own conception of what man is Islamically and build psychology on this. This is the fairest leg of the thing. What is the second leg of the table? The second leg of the table, we Islamize in order to show our students and to show anybody who reads our books the greatness of Allah and His hikmah in creation. Just imagine, we Muslims are unaware. What are the problems of the West today? AIDS, the highest level of crime, drug addictions, whatever. All of these, they came to us from the West. But now today, we are still better than the West in this respect. People can become homosexual in our country. But within themselves, they feel this is wrong. In the Western world, no. John, would you take Robert as your wedded wife, so and so? Two men. And the priest is also homosexual. And then, okay, kiss the bride. Then with his mustache and beard, he comes to kiss the other. This is, they have no guilt. We are different. And we, because of this, we have a better life, which we are unaware of. Yesterday, I listened to a lecture by Hamza Yusuf. And he said that people get accustomed to very good things they have. They get accustomed to it, they take it for granted. They only feel its importance when it is taken away from them. Just like me now. I used to walk and run, I don't care. But after the surgery in my leg, now I look at people running, I see, subhanallah, I had a great gift which I was not appreciating. So here we need to look at how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves us as human beings. We want our students to make tafakkur on our creation. The brain, which is the most important organ for us in working in psychology. Scientists today, they say the most obscure, the most unknown thing in the world today is not a star far away. It's not a planet which does not appear. It is this computer inside our skull. It is the brain. Still, they don't know how this happens. How come you remember memory? How come what is short-term memory? What is long-term memory? How do you formulate concepts? It's at the brain, and at the same time, it is responsible for our movement, responsible for this one. How? They say if all the computers of the world are brought together, they will require about thousands of volts and electricity to run them so that they become near to the brain, but they cannot be like the brain. And the brain uses only 10 amperes. 10 amperes, only very little electricity for all of our life to go around with. We need to Islamize psychology in order to show the hikmah, the wisdom of Allah in creation, in creating everything. Look now, we talk about the West, the AIDS. The AIDS was made in America. They want to get rid of it. They say green monkey. They say the Haitians. All of this is lies. It is because of the homosexuals. And the homosexuals did so many unnatural and terrible things until the germs of this HIV changed. A change took place, and then it became this big tiger which is eating people. I have written a book on AIDS and Islam. It became a reference, translated to Russian, translated to some African language, translated to this, because the Muslims, people need it. Even when I went to South Africa to launch the book, I was told that in one church in South Africa, in a church, the priest is using my book on AIDS and Islam to preach the Christians. They know everywhere there are Muslims and non-Muslims in a country, you will find the Muslims having a low rate of that. Now Islam, by saying no alcohol, by saying no fornication, by saying no drug intake, by saying you become straight in your life. If all this, if all this is applied, we will live very happily. So we need to look into why did Allah prevent us from fornication? Why? Why did Islam prevents a woman from getting married again very quickly after the death of the husband? Why should she wait for 3 months and a half or 4 months? Why? All of these things now are coming out from the West. They are coming out from research in the West. We are taught hikmat Allah by their own scientists. Yeah.
Okey, jadi daripada awal tadi kita bercerita tentang Islamisasi, maka di sinilah fungsi Islamisasi di dalam psikologi untuk tunjukkan apa yang tidak sesuai ataupun apa yang tidak selaras dengan pandangan Islam, apa yang sesuai. Dan tujuan keduanya adalah untuk menunjukkan kehebatan Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala di dalam dan juga kebijaksanaannya dalam mencipta alam cakrawala ini. Prof mendatangkan apabila perkara ini diabaikan, maka lahirlah tabiat-tabiat yang tidak baik seperti yang terlihat di barat, masalah AIDS dan juga sumbang mahram dan perkahwinan sejantina. Ini semua telah dibantah di dalam Islam sejak 14 abad yang lalu. Dan Prof mendatangkan kata-kata Hamzah Yusof yang mengatakan bahawa apabila kita terlalu bersenang-senang dengan nikmat yang ada, kita akan terlupa bahawa kita mempunyai nikmat itu. Dan antara nikmat yang kita ada adalah ajaran di dalam Al-Quran yang mengajarkan kita supaya menjauhi diri daripada zina, daripada perkahwinan sejantina dan sebagainya. Dan psikologi di dalam Islam yang perlu ditekankan kepada guru adalah untuk mendidik pelajar agar melakukan tafakkur kepada alam. Dan kerana perkara yang misteri di dalam dunia ini bukanlah bintang di langit, tetapi apa yang tersimpan di dalam kepala kita, iaitu otak. Kerana otak melakukan dengan otak kita boleh mencipta berbagai konsep, otak yang menggerakkan organ-organ badan manusia dan sebagainya. Dan Prof kata jika saintis ingin menghasilkan tenaga ataupun keupayaan yang sama seperti otak, ia memerlukan beribu-ribu voltan. Tetapi otak hanya cukup dengan 10 ampere untuk melakukan berbagai perkara. Dan AIDS puncanya adalah homoseksual, kerana ia telah merubah genetik manusia. Dan Prof telah melakukan kajian dan telah menerbitkan buku AIDS and Islam yang telah diterjemahkan ke dalam banyak bahasa. Dan pernah sekali sewaktu Prof di Afrika Selatan, beliau dapat tahu bahawa bukunya itu digunakan oleh padri untuk mengajar kepada kaum Kristian untuk menjauhi homoseksualiti. Dan Islam telah ajarkan banyak perkara selain daripada homoseksualiti. Islam ajar supaya jauhi zina, jauhi daripada arak, kahwin mestilah antara lelaki dan perempuan. Yang perlu dilihat di dalam psikologi adalah mengapa perkara-perkara ini dilarang. Kita perlu tahu apakah hikmah di sebalik larangannya. Misalnya tentang wanita yang setelah diceraikan ataupun kematian suami perlu menjalani iddah selama 4 bulan 10 hari. Apakah hikmah di sebaliknya? Dan Prof kata kajian-kajian ini mula untuk muncul di negara barat. Mereka sudah mula untuk mengetahui benda-benda ini semua, larangan ini bukan tidak ada apa-apa tujuan, tetapi ada tujuan. Dan jadi apabila kita mempunyai nikmat ini dan kita mengabaikannya, orang lain akan mengecapi nikmat yang telah kita ada.
Yes. So here we are. Hikmah Allah. Knowing the wisdom of Allah in His creation. Creation in us as psychological human beings. Psychological, how do we talk now? We take it for granted we are talking. And we think it is something just found in us. No, this is a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now psychologists used to talk about how people learn to talk. The child say mama, then the mother is so happy, oh good boy, good boy. Then she gives him the breast, she gives him something to eat. Then he repeats mama, mama until he begins to know. But no. Now cognitive psychologists discover no, this is a biological gift. Every baby will talk. Not because you reinforce him or teach him. No. It is something that has been put in man. They do not want to say that God put it in man, but they will say nature put it in man. If today I write a paper and I send it to a journal in America to be published, they will say, MashaAllah, you have discovered a new hormone. This is a very good paper, but it will have to be changed. Because in the paper you say, God created so and so in man. If you change it to, we can change it, nature, Mother Nature made so and so. Who is Mother Nature? Our only mother is Hawa. But there is no Mother Nature. It is a way to get away from saying Allah created us, that's so. So here we need to show, this is the second leg of the table. What is the third leg of the table? The third leg of the table is very important. It is we Islamize to make psychology useful to Muslims. Many poor Muslims go to psychologists to help them. But they try to help them by reading American books. It's useless. At times it causes problems. Just imagine if a man, you know, with dignified beard and mustache, and he comes to a psychoanalyst and tells him, I cannot sleep, I have this, I have that. And then he tells him, your problem is in your childhood and you did not solve your Oedipal complex. In the Oedipal complex, you loved your mother sexually and you hated your father. This developed into an unconscious complex which is causing you trouble. Just to say to a man that it is you were sexually in love with your mother when you were a baby, a 4-year-old. If this is said to the man and the man slammed the psychologist in his face, he will do a good job. So here we need to take away all the nonsense and to make psychology suitable for our society. A woman in England went to the psychiatrist and told him, my husband got married to a second wife. And the second wife is making sihr for me. She went to some bomo and the bomo made sihr for me. Now I cannot enjoy food, I cannot have any good life. I tremble, I can't sleep at night. What will he say? What will the Englishman say? Sihr, what do you mean by sihr? Then she explains to him the bomo and why the bomo has some devils with whom he works, and he will just laugh. But to her, this is a fact, a true fact. A Muslim psychologist is from the culture will be able to understand the problem of the woman. I can give you a number of examples in this respect. I had a patient who had a phobia of devils, shayateen jinn, to the extent that she cannot stay alone in the house. While her husband goes to work, she goes to stay in the balcony to see people walking in the street and feel at home. I try to help her. I try to help her with all my psychological techniques. I failed. So I told her, you go. I know of a sheikh who is very good. You go to the sheikh. She went to the sheikh. He read Quran on her. He did a few things to her. He gave her water in which she read Yasin several times or others, and then she became well. She improved. He improved because he used things from religion and from the culture. Today there is a branch of psychology which is becoming very popular, is developing. It is called cross-cultural psychology, in which they proved that there are certain disorders in one country that are not found in other countries. The culture, the religion, they are important in deciding. Now how? Here we are in Malaysia here and in Thailand. Women have lata. Men at times who are angry will run amok. These are disorders, they are not found anywhere in the world, only here. So when we come to treat, we should know the culture, how it developed into this. This is a very important aspect of psychology. Cannot be helpful to people without being Islamized. If we are psychologists and we want to help people either by counseling or in social psychology or to motivate workers to work better, we have to use cultural methods. Just as in Africa people are using witchcrafts and other to treat people, because this is their culture. Okay.
Jadi untuk mengetahui hikmah Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala, mengetahui kehebatan dan nikmat Allah di dalam ciptaannya, itu merupakan tujuan di dalam psikologi Islam. Perkara mudah adalah misalnya bagaimana kita bercakap. Prof kata hari ini orang sudah mula mengkaji bagaimana bayi sewaktu kecil sudah mula untuk bercakap mama misalnya. Jadi behavioral psychologist akan kata ini adalah hasil daripada didikan maknya. Tetapi ahli biologis tidak bersetuju dan mereka mengatakan ini merupakan sesuatu yang diberikan kepadanya oleh alam semula jadi. Kata Prof, mengapa kamu kata alam semula jadi? Apa maksud alam semula jadi? Alam semula jadi hanyalah satu istilah yang digunakan untuk melarikan diri daripada menggunakan perkataan Tuhan. Jadi sebenarnya Tuhan yang mengajarkan bayi itu untuk bercakap. Okey. Jadi rukun yang ketiga adalah Islamisasi dilakukan untuk menjadikan psikologi ini berguna untuk manusia. Kata Prof, hari ini ramai orang Islam ada masalah datang jumpa ahli psikologi, tetapi mereka diberikan jawapan yang mereka tak sepatutnya terimanya. Contohnya apabila seorang lelaki datang jumpa ahli psikologi, ditanyakan mengenai masalahnya, ahli psikologi itu akan membalas, ini disebabkan sewaktu kecil kamu bercinta dengan ibu kamu. Ini merupakan teori Sigmund Freud yang mengatakan bahawa segala masalah dapat dikesan sedari kecil dan selalunya berkait dengan seksual. Dan jadi kita perlu bersihkan psikologi daripada perkara-perkara ini. Antara contoh lain adalah seorang wanita yang berjumpa ahli psikologi, suaminya kahwin dua. Jadi isteri ini menggunakan sihir kepada wanita tu. Dan apabila wanita itu berjumpa dengan ahli psikologi itu bertanya, apa masalah kamu? Dia kata, saya telah disihir oleh isteri kedua. Ahli psikologi itu ketawakan dia kerana dia tidak mengetahui budaya dan juga agama di tempat itu. Sebab itu pentingnya dan juga ada satu kisah lain apabila wanita itu ada masalah yang sama, ada fobia, dan dia dibawa kepada seorang syekh membacakan ayat-ayat Quran, dan hasil daripada itu wanita itu pulih. Jadi ini merupakan apa yang Prof sebut sebagai cross-cultural psychology ataupun psikologi rentas budaya. Pentingnya untuk mengetahui budaya di sesuatu tempat kerana tidak semua budaya itu ada di tempat yang lain. Contoh yang Prof sebut adalah tentang latah dan juga amok. Ini adalah perkara yang sinonim dengan masyarakat di Malaysia dan juga di Thailand ataupun di Nusantara ini, dan dia tidak ada misalnya di barat, tidak ada, kita jarang dengar orang penyakit latah. Sebab itu psikologi tidak boleh membantu manusia jika ia tidak diislamisasikan. Maka perlu diislamisasikan dan mengambil peranan budaya. Seperti contohnya jika dia disihir, maka perlu didatangkan juga anti kepada sihir itu. Okay, Prof.
Yes. Let me give you another example in this making psychology useful to Islamize it, to make it helpful to Muslims. I have this one patient. His mother loved him more than all other brothers, her daughters and sons. And then this man loved his mother very much and cared for her. But then one day, his mother developed a heart attack and died all of a sudden. He was in pain for some time, but then he became normal. He goes to work, he started to forget the whole issue. But then he saw a dream at night. He saw his mother came to him and told him, Ya Fulan, your cousin, his cousin was in his 20s, your cousin so and so in the other city will join me soon, will die and join me very soon. Then it will be your turn. So he said, my cousin is still young, nothing will happen. He forgot the issue, but the next day he went to work, he got a message, your cousin died in a car crash. So he started to say, my turn is coming, I'm going to die. Then he developed a phobia of death. Everything to him is death is coming. His house in Omdurman is very near to the graveyard. So every day he's going to work, he goes through the graveyard, very short distance to go to work. Now he does not go through the grave. He goes away for a very long distance to avoid looking at the graves. Just like a child who is afraid of a dog in a house, in going to school he will run away, go in a very far way. Then it became more and more until he could not go to work anymore. So he came to the hospital. I was senior psychologist in the hospital, but I'm not a psychiatrist. I do not give drugs. I do not give electric shock to the brains of patients. No, I don't deal with mad people. But he came and he saw the psychiatrist. The psychiatrist decided he is suffering from depression. So they gave him drugs, antidepressant drugs. He did not improve. Then they decided maybe it is better to give him electroconvulsive therapy, electricity in his brain. It didn't help him. They tried everything. When they failed, they would send him to our department of psychology. So they sent him to me. I relaxed him. And while he's fully relaxed, with a special machine that makes the patient relax more, I talked to him about death. Death is not the end of life. It is the beginning of a new life. And then I tell him, imagine yourself going to Hajj. Close your eyes, and then he's like in a hypnotic trance. He goes to Hajj in his mind, in the clinic. Then you go to visit the grave of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Then his eyes begin to tremble when I say the Prophet's grave, and tears come out of his eyes. He weeps. He weeps bitterly. Then we speak about death in this condition. The Prophet ﷺ did not meet him sitting on a chair or praying on a carpet. He is in the grave. Death is normal. We repeat this again and again, and this is cognitive therapy, behavior cognitive therapy, until he started to improve. One day he came to me in the clinic and he was very happy, as if he really did a very big thing. You know, doctor, now I'm better. You know what I did? No, I don't know. Our neighbor, his grandmother died. I went with him to the graveyard and we buried the body there. Now I can face the He improved. He became very well and left. He doesn't come to the hospital anymore. And then, because at that time we were about similar ages and he's from the same place, we became like friends. But then I traveled to come to Malaysia here. I stay for a year or so, and then I go back home. When I go back to Sudan, I meet him. I ask him, are you still alive? Are you still alive? Then another year alive. Now he's 80 years, and he's still alive. So here they fail because these psychiatrists only read the book and try to apply. Read the American book and apply. How can we copy American books if they tell us how to cheat our parents, old parents, to put them in an old people's home? And Allah says, لا تقل لهما أف ولا تنهرهما وقل لهما قولا كريما. How come? It's normal for them, this man, my father became a talkative old man. I want to get rid of him. He cheats his father. Father, let me take you for a drive. Then he takes him and he tells the old people home. He throws him there and runs away from his father. He never sees him again in his life. We are different. Yes.
Saya rasa semua jelas kot dengan cerita Prof tadi tentang jadi tak perlu ulang kena ulang. Okey, ringkasnya Prof ada seorang pesakit yang amat menyayangi ibunya. Satu hari ibunya meninggal dunia. Dan satu hari sewaktu di dalam tidurnya beliau bermimpi berjumpa dengan ibu yang disayangi itu. Dan ibunya menghabarkan padanya, nanti tak lama lagi sepupu kamu akan pergi juga bersama dengan aku. Dan kemudian selepas sepupu kamu pergi, kamu yang akan pergi. Dan keesokan harinya dia menerima mesej kata sepupunya sudah meninggal dunia. Jadi dia mula takut akan kematian. Sehingga dia pergi kerja, dia tidak lagi melalui jalan yang biasa dilaluinya kerana di jalan itu ada perkuburan. Jadi dia takut, fobia. Maka dia pergi jumpa psikiatris. Ahli psikiatris mengatakan dia ini menderita penyakit depresi atau depression, tekanan. Dan ahli psikiatris memberikannya ubat-ubatan, berbagai-bagai rawatan, tetapi ia tidak sembuh. Dan akhirnya ia dibawa kepada Prof. Dan Prof menenangkannya dan bercerita mengenai kematian apabila dia sudah tenang. Dan mereka bercerita mengenai kematian, bahawa kematian ini bukanlah pengakhiran pada segalanya, ia merupakan satu permulaan kepada fasa baru. Dan saat berbicara mengenai kematian Rasulullah SAW, beliau menitiskan air matanya. Dan mereka terus bercerita mengenai kematian sehingga akhirnya dia menjadi semakin baik, semakin pulih. Dan apabila tidak lama selepas itu bertemu lagi dengan Prof, dia mengatakan bahawa dia begitu gembira kerana sudah berani untuk mendepani kematian. Kerana baru-baru ini neneknya baru meninggal dunia dan dia berada di situ untuk mengembumikan neneknya. Dan apabila Prof datang ke Malaysia, kemudian kembali ke Sudan untuk bertemunya, dia masih lagi hidup sihat dan masih baik. Jadi pengajaran daripada cerita ni adalah ahli psikiatris dia hanya membaca buku dan dia hanya boleh memberikan rawatan berdasarkan apa yang dibacanya. Tidak ada daripada ilmu luar, tidak ada daripada pengalaman atau daripada agama. Oleh yang demikian, misalnya di Amerika ada banyak anak-anak menghantar orang-orang tua mereka ke rumah orang tua. Prof katakan dia seorang lelaki ni, dia tak mahu lagi menjaga orang tuanya, maka dia katakan kepada ayahnya, jom kita pergi ke satu tempat. Dia bawa ke rumah orang tua, dia tinggal ayahnya di situ dan dia balik. Jadi ini sedangkan di Quran mengatakan fala taqul lahuma uffin, jangan kamu katakan walaupun ataupun kepada ibu bapa kamu. Tetapi ini tidak diajarkan di dalam psikologi ataupun psikologi barat. Maka oleh yang demikian soal hormat ataupun adab itu sudah kering daripada psikologi semasa.
Now we have already covered the 3 legs. The first leg is to show the secular, anti-religious form of psychology. The second is to make tafakkur in the creation of God. The third is to make psychology useful to Muslims. Now the last and fourth is to show the importance of the works of early Muslim philosophers and psychologists, Al-Ghazali, Al-Balkhi, Ibn Rushd. These were great psychologists. They left for us theories, they left for us very good works. Abu Zayd al-Balkhi, 12 centuries ago, wrote a medical manuscript in psychological treatment. He differentiated between psychological disorder and madness, mental disorder. He developed a system for different kinds of psychological disorders: anxiety, fear, phobia, obsessive compulsive disorder, waswasa, and depression and huzn. 4. And he showed how to use cognitive behavior therapy in the treatment. This was done 12 centuries ago. Now, I have translated this manuscript to English, and I put 40 footnotes comparing al-Balkhi with modern cognitive therapies. The West came to cognitive therapy after about almost 80 years. They were slaves of Freud, then they left Freud, then they became behaviorists, then they left behaviorism, then they became cognitive behavior therapists. Now, al-Balkhi started with cognitive behavior therapy, which is the most modern today in all clinics of the world. I showed that his work is superior to some of the Western work today. When I translated this, a great psychiatrist in Norway wrote to me. He said this manuscript about al-Balkhi will change the history of psychology. And he translated my book into Norwegian. And he invited me to come to Oslo to explain the work of al-Balkhi to Norwegian psychologists. We are stupid fools not to make use of the works of early Muslim scholars and physicians. So this is number 4, the fourth and final leg of money. Anyone who wants to write a curriculum or a syllabus should think about these 4 legs of the table and to try to change, to make a syllabus according to them. Okay.
Jadi itu merupakan rukun yang terakhir ataupun kaki yang keempat. Jika ingin diulang, yang pertamanya adalah untuk menunjukkan bahawa psikologi itu anti agama. Yang kedua, psikologi ini kita bicara dalam soal Islamisasi. Yang kedua, psikologi itu sewajarnya menggalakkan tafakur kepada alam ciptaan Tuhan. Yang ketiga, Islamisasi psikologi itu penting untuk menjadikan ia berguna kepada manusia, useful. Dan yang keempat, untuk menunjukkan kepentingan sumbangan sarjana tradisi Islam yang silam. Misalnya seperti Abu Zayd al-Balkhi, Ibn Rushd, Al-Ghazali dan sebagainya. Jadi Prof mendatangkan kisah Abu Zayd al-Balkhi yang telah menulis sebuah manuskrip perubatan pada abad ke-12 yang menceritakan mengenai cognitive behavior therapy ataupun CBT yang pertama membezakan antara penyakit mental atau mentality disorder dengan kegilaan. Contoh mentality disorder seperti kerisauan, penyakit was-was dan sebagainya, depression, dan beliau menunjukkan bagaimana kognitif behavior therapy ini boleh digunakan sebagai penawar kepada penyakit-penyakit itu. Dan ini mula mengambil tempat di barat pada hari ini. Sebab itu Prof kata kita adalah we are fools. Kita ni bodoh kerana tidak memanfaatkan tradisi kita. Hari ni bila kita dah tinggalkan tradisi kita, orang lain mula untuk menemukan benda yang sama, baru kita terhegeh-hegeh kembali kepada tradisi yang lama. Sebab itu Prof kata terjemahan manuskrip itu telah mendapat respon daripada sarjana psikologi di Norway, bahkan menjemput Prof ke Oslo untuk membincangkan tentang terjemahannya itu, kerana ahli psikologi itu berpandangan bahawa terjemahan Prof ini akan merubah hala tuju psikologi. Jadi itu satu sumbangan yang signifikan. Dan secara umumnya itulah dia keempat-empat rukun Islamisasi dalam psikologi. Okay, Prof.
Thank you. If you like this lecture, don't thank me. Thank Professor Omar Kasuli for making me change the lecture that I was supposed to give. Thank you.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have finished our first morning session. Thank you very much, Professor Dr. Abdul Malek Badri, and to all the guests. We will have a break now for lunch, and then for prayer, and we can rest after that. Inshallah, we meet again at 2 o'clock according to the schedule. Thank you very much. We would like to have a photo session. Yes. We would like to have a photo session with you. Sit down and we will all gather around you.
MashaAllah. Good translator.
اهلا اهلا الحمد لله طيب الحمد لله ممكن احضر ممكن ما في مشكله حياك الله
Can get all?
Except the photograph. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, thank you. Put inside triple ID. Got one more.
Satu lagi.
Alright. Let's come and have something to eat, Professor. Nasi tomato. Ali.
Iya, oh iya.
Ada siap-siap bro. Ada siap-siap.
Oke.